When he was 9 years old, John Bosco had a dream that stayed with him the rest of his life. In his dream, he was trying to get some lads who were playing and cursing to behave themselves. First he argued with them, then he began hitting them. Christ appeared and told him, "You'll only be able to make friends of them with kindness and gentleness." And Our Lady added, "Make yourself humble, strong and reliable. At the right time, you'll understand everything." John Bosco was born nearly 200 years ago at a place called the Becky near Turin. His birthday was the 16th of August 1815, the same year Napoleon was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. John was only 2.5 when his father died. His mother, Margaret, was left to look after her stepson Anthony, her own 2 boys, Joseph and John, their granny, and 2 workmen. Following his dream, John learned how to juggle and walk the tightrope. He wanted to draw many young people to himself so that they could enjoy themselves and grow in their faith. John worked hard and spent whatever free time he had reading. He wanted an education to reach his goal in life, and that was to become a priest to help young people whose families were in difficulty. Finally, he was ready and entered the seminary. On the 5th of June, 1841, he was ordained a priest by the Archbishop of Turin. In those days, Turin was full of poor young people who were either orphaned or abandoned, looking for work and exposed to many temptations to the body and soul. Don Bosco started gathering them together on Sundays, sometimes in a church, or in a field, or in a town square, to get them to play and to teach them to live as good Christians and honest citizens. After 5 years of enormous difficulties, he managed to establish and open his first youth centre. In his youth centre, the poor, abandoned and orphan boys would get everything: food, lodging, study, work, and time to pray and to play. The need for such youth centres where young people can be safe and prepare for their future was growing, not only in Italy, but also in other parts of the world. So, with the help of 18 young men, he started a religious order, the Society of St. Francis de Sales, known as the Silesians, in 1857, to expand his work, not only in Italy, but also all over the world. This religious order has grown so much today, and it has a place for all: men and women who want to be priests and nuns, married people as co-workers, students as past pupils, all with one aim of providing a positive and safe environment for every young person today. Don Bosco wanted young people to live by their reason, have love for God, and practice kindness towards one another in all his settings. He published numerous books for young people, and he printed a newsletter called the Salesian Bulletin, which we still publish and send around for young people and their families. Because he'd worked really, really hard all his life, he finally got very sick and died on the 31st of January 1888 at the age of 72 in Italy. His work still goes on. Today, in 132 countries, the Salesians work for children and young people and to help make the world a better place. They run day schools and boarding schools, hostels, colleges, technical centres, retreat houses, and manage parish churches. The Silesians came to Ireland, to Pallaskenry in County Limerick, in 1919. They opened an agricultural college, and then a commercial college, which is now a secondary school. They opened a second agricultural college in Wardenstown in County Meath 3 years later. After that, they started in Ballinackill in Laois, Crumlin in Dublin, Maynooth and Selbridge in County Kildare, a parish in Milford in Limerick, and a host of homes for teenage boys around Dublin city. Many Silesians went as missionaries from Ireland to places like India, South Africa, China, the Philippines, and South America. In Ireland, some work as chaplains in the Navy, in the Army, in schools, and in Limerick University. The Salesian Sisters started in Limerick City in 1920 and now have 13 presences in Ireland, mostly around Limerick and Dublin. They work in primary and secondary schools, universities, parishes, clubs, leadership courses, and preparing volunteers to work for education and development overseas. As it's nearly 200 years since Don Bosco was born, his present successor, Father Chavez, hit on the idea 3 years ago of sending a relic of Don Bosco all around the world to help prepare people to celebrate the occasion. The relic is inside a wax figure of Don Bosco in a glass case. This has already visited all the Salesian places in South and North America, Australia and Asia, India and Africa. It's now on the last part of its journey in Europe, before finishing up in Turin in Italy, where the saint was born in 1815. It comes to Ireland on the 23rd of February 2013, starting in Dublin, then making its way round the country. Selbridge, Ballinackill, Portlaoise, Limerick, Pallaskenry, Knock, Navan, Belfast, back to Dublin and Limerick, and leaving from Shannon Airport on the 8th of March on its way to Croatia. Don Bosco comes to bless all the young people in Ireland and will continue to pray for them that they may grow to be honest citizens and good Christians. As he comes around our country, he is sending a personal invitation to each and every one of you and asks you to share his dream and be part of his team working for the young people of Ireland. Our young people face the problems of bullying in school. They experience cyberbullying. Many suffer because of the hard times we now live in. Some are addicted to alcohol and drugs. Many don't have the same chances to grow and develop. Some don't believe in God. Broken families break their dreams. The list is endless. They cry for our help. Are you ready to join with the Silesians to make Don Bosco's dream come true? Don Bosco says to the young people of Ireland, I want you to be happy. And how can you do that? By being kind, helping other people, living in joy and in security, playing fairly, remembering you are special and part of your own family, by sharing, talking to God and talking to your parents. In a nutshell, Don Bosco says, by doing everything with kindness, looking for the good in everyone, inviting Jesus as your friend into everything you do. Be happy and spread a little happiness.
Here is a man who found a way to make the stars above our heads seem brighter than the day. He offered hope, he made a family of the young by living freely, spending night and day, giving life away, finding hearts ready to respond. And so we keep this memory of his life, memory filled with joy and goodness, reaching out to everyone, calling us to love, bringing us to God with a message for the world. Here is a man who in his day brought the sun to shine upon the orphan and the stray. His was a home, the welcome more than you could say, is living freely, spending night and day, giving life away, finding hearts ready to respond. And so we keep this memory of his life, memory filled with joy and goodness, reaching out to everyone, calling us to love, bringing us to God with a message for the world. Here is a man who came to say that loving God in everyone would brighten every day. Love was his plan, the laughter shining in his eyes, his living freely, spending night and day, giving life away, finding hearts ready to respond. And so we keep this memory of his life, memory filled with joy and goodness, reaching out to everyone, calling us to love, bringing us to God with a message for the world.